It is Down the Rabbit Hole. My name is CJ. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, another week we survived this carnivorous. Is it the carnivorous virus? What does that mean, carnivorous? Is that like when you eat meat, right? It's the carnivore virus. Whatever it is, we've all been avoiding it. But we don't have corona. We don't have it. Corona, that's right. Corona. I always heard that if you get the coronavirus, you suck on a lime, you'll be good to go. Let me tell you what the coronavirus was to me.
Scurvy.
Scurvy would work too, probably. When I was stationed,
when
I was stationed at Fort Hood in the early '90s, coronavirus would be the Friday after we all went to a place called Cody's, where they had nickel Corona. And then you had to be in formation like at 5 the next morning, and that was kind of rough. Once again, we are Down the Rabbit Hole. My name is CJ.
Formation.
I am joined in our studio by a wonderful friend of mine, Miss Berlin Baum, and of course, Miss Gigi von Parlo. We're going to talk to Gigi in a little bit. Let's talk about this Corona thing real quick.
You
know what? I really didn't get into it until this week. And I'm like, why is everybody, is it a pandemic? What's everybody freaking out about?
Why is everyone talking about it, and why should you as well?
Okay, in China,
yes.
Where do they get corona? What is the thing?
It has to do with a part of the brain that's affected. It's not anything to do with your cheap beer.
So this is corona cheap?
I mean, ish.
So the name corona, what does that mean? Is it Latin?
I'm sure. I mean, we can.
Don't worry about it. It's on the internet.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, forget about it.
No.
Okay, I want to talk to Gigi, this very special guest that you brought.
Sure.
And we're going to talk about, well, I guess what it is you do. Now, let's talk about the term drag. It's been around since about 1870. I did a little homework, and that was right after the Civil War, by the way. It kind of went underground, and now with Mr. RuPaul, he's won 9 Emmys for this drag race thing. Now,
right?
I said I did homework, but what is the drag race? I've never seen it.
You've never seen Drag Race?
Never watched it.
You are missing out.
But it won 9 Emmys, so somebody's watching it. Somebody's liking it.
No, I mean, I think there's just a fascination with the culture in general. I mean, right now we're in a time where everything is about blurring the gender line.
Okay, do people compete? Do you compete?
Yes.
Is it like America's Got Talent?
Tis a race, sir.
It's almost like Top Model. Have you watched?
I've never watched that either.
It's a competition, and you get all these challenges that you do, and then you get, I believe, $100,000.
Yeah.
What, do you have to juggle?
No, I mean
you have different themes and different.
You're judged on your drag performance. So parts of that are, your aesthetic, your performance, your lip sync.
Now, what do you win?
You win money. You win a lifetime supply. I think of like whatever cosmetic brand is like.
Yeah. So I'm thinking this. Can I call this a hobby? Is it a hobby?
It's not a hobby. It's become more of a business for a
right.
lot of people, and again, drag has been around for so many years. As a matter of fact, the first drag queens were geishas.
What? Right.
Which were men.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, with the kabuki.
The first geishas in history were men.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Now, is it true that the gay community didn't really accept drag queens at first?
No, I think we've been at the forefront of any type of like social topic and any sort of like social movement. Drag has been a platform for everybody to really express themselves and like come together. And
let me run this by you real quick.
Sure.
Do more homework. When a straight man puts on a dress and gets his sexual kicks, he's a transvestite. When a man is a woman trapped in a man's body and has a little operation, he is a transsexual. When a gay man has way too much fashion sense for one gender, he is a drag queen. Would you agree on that?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because there's a lot of drag queens out there that don't have
the fashion sense. But I do kind of love that.
But, yeah.
So is there like a little community? Yeah, well, she really didn't. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, I don't even think that you have to be a drag performer in the gay community to get that level of criticism on what you might be wearing that day.
But it's like you said, everything's changing now. It's not just the gay community. I mean, right? I'm thinking, hey, still a dude. I mean, dude can whip your ass, right? But then, I would see guys go, yeah, what do you think? Well, I ain't even getting close, but then all of a sudden, look, hey, selfie, hey, all right? So, I'm just saying, it doesn't bother me.
I mean, to be honest, it really depends on the individual. People ask me a lot, like, how do I dress on my regular?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is this like, are these work clothes to you? Do you consider them work clothes?
No, this, for me, it's more of I have a theater background. I'm a fashion designer for 10 years now. And so drag for me is just another platform to be creative. So it's almost like a role. You know, you get a role for a movie and you play dress up and then you become something different.
No, do you like hide your persona? Like say like the professional wrestlers, they have a persona. Mm-hmm. Do you kind of keep or hey, this is it. This is me. Take it or leave it.
It's a little bit of you because obviously you're the one that's impersonating the character, but a lot of the times your personality obviously crosses over. Whether if you're funny or silly or whatever. It is you at the end of the day, basically.
Well, I think the level of confidence that people get from it too, though, is it kind of almost exaggerates the parts of themselves that
it's a little more exaggerated.
Would you say maybe you're an actor with the packaging to commit murder? Maybe. I mean, 'cause you can. I mean, I'm not physical murder, but I'm like you can pretty much get away with
just disappear.
Pretty much.
There wasn't unsolved mysteries about that.
Now, what was it about this that got you into this? I mean, you said you were in theater, so of course you'd like to dress up, but what was it that made you go?
Well, I'm originally from West Hollywood, California, and I got hired to do bridal design in Florida. The corporation happens to be here, but the brand is global.
Right.
And so I moved here. I've been here for 3 years, about a year and a half in Fort Myers, and I missed that, art scene in California, New York. I've lived everywhere.
You felt like something was missing. I mean, you weren't living, so to speak. You were
pretty much
missing.
Pretty much,
what you like
that,
to do.
That different outlet to be creative and whatnot. And then I dressed up for a Halloween one time, and I walked into a gay bar, and the house queen saw me, and she said, "You have to do drag. You have to do drag." And I'm like, "I don't know. It's not for me. I've never done it before."
Oh, really?
No.
So you didn't dress up and drag that Halloween?
I was in drag that Halloween,
but you just did it just.
Prior to that,
Somebody took all the Freddy Krueger masks. What am I gonna do? Oh,
like name was like Jessica Rabbit or something.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, the first time I saw you was for the drag search competition.
Right.
So how new were you to drag when that competition started?
Like a week or two.
See, and I would have never guessed that because your Amy Winehouse was fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell me how you feel? I mean, in your heart and in your head when you're going from Clark Kent to Superman. Is there a? I mean, because I love dressing. I love Halloween.
Yeah.
I love it because you get to be,
It's a process. Once you start doing makeup, I happen to be good at drawing, so I knew how to draw lines and like blend and all of that.
Yeah, this right here is pretty awesome. All this.
Thank you. And it's as you begin to paint. We don't really say makeup. We paint because we're artists. As you begin to paint, you paint with eyebrows and everything comes together. Once you put the eyelashes on, then the whole look, you become a completely different person. And then you sort of like
carry yourself a different way.
Differently,
right?
You speak differently. Your mannerisms are differently.
It's a whole persona.
It's a complete transformation from beginning to end. So
now, see, CJ acts like this is his first introduction to drag, but I have taken him to the Halloween show at Rascals.
And
did I perform that night?
You did perform that night.
Maleficent.
Yes.
With all this.
Yep.
I remember.
And I
thought it was a chick from Thor.
You also appeared.
I thought it was Thor's sister.
Oh, and I did her too.
And you also appeared in drag. You were Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yes, was he a doctor?
Yes. Well, I came in early. I did his makeup.
That was pretty cool, actually.
Yes, and we moved his eyebrows up and everything, and no, it was fantastic.
I told him to shave them off. I'm all about the art too.
We gave him some serious cheekbones.
I said, "Well, shave them off, right?" Bob Geldof did
it.
But I don't.
She didn't want to.
No, he told me to shave them off, and I'm like, we can't shave them off because you have to live with yourself the next day.
For how long will it take?
It takes.
Okay, but look, I found me an artist. Go ahead and paint them on me.
But that's the thing. You know what? I knew it wouldn't have been worth shaving your eyebrows off because this persona that Gigi talks about that she feels once she puts on, the paint and everything.
Right.
You did not get that.
Well, not yet, but you never know.
No, I painted your face, and you were a boy in a dress. You were not a drag queen.
Well, I still had to work.
There's a huge difference.
That would have been a different. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait, so then,
A boy in a dress.
You were a boy in a dress. You were not feeling it.
Did anything change? Once
No,
you put on
he didn't
listen,
commit.
the costume and the whole thing?
Yeah,
and-
his level of commitment was shaving off the eyebrows. It was not
Because I had to
becoming
work.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
I'm not even going to argue with her. But when I was the
He
crow,
was there, he knows.
when I was the crow, baby, I should tell you that real quick.
When you were the crow, what did you
Oh,
do?
that was
Have
my
like
movie.
have like barely any lines and just like sit in the rain a lot? Because that's very different than Dr. Frankenfurter. I was expecting you to
That's right. Brendan Lee didn't sing.
make a man in 7 days.
Oh, you're right.
7 days.
So let's talk. You were talking about money.
make a
and
woman in 2
This is a
hours.
pretty expensive sideline. I guess. What would you call this? No, you said it was a habit, hobby.
It's, to be honest, it's a business.
Business.
It's become a business. It's a lot of money.
You know,
in
can
drag.
you use this as a tax write-off? All your wigs and your belts and
Yeah, it's a bit of an investment. I go all the way. Like my lipsticks are like $30. My eyeshadows are like expensive. My wigs are like from $100 to $300, depending on the quality. And it's a lot of money you put into drag. So when you go out there and perform, you have to sort of put your price to your shows and performances because of the level of artistry that you bring.
Yeah.
And so then people like your image. If they like your image, they book you. And then sometimes I'm like booked for the entire month and I have like all these gigs that I have to do, and then eventually it pays off.
You know, say you how long does a gig last? An hour, 2 hours?
It's about an hour.
And you bring
About an hour.
you bring how many different costumes with you? I mean,
two looks.
but your face will change too.
I try to do a makeup where I can just change the wig, and it's, you know, hopefully it translates to
Because I mean, you think this
Rihanna or Gaga.
all this eyes? That's the last stuff you do is your eyelashes, right?
Yeah,
That would I'd get stuck. I wouldn't be able to see.
yeah. It was weird at the beginning because I wasn't used to them. They were too heavy, or it felt like I had something.
You have no peripheral vision.
right.
Yeah.
Now, do you see like I don't know, Billie Eilish? Oh, I'm not just using her as an example.
I love her.
Okay,
It's cool.
wow, I wanted to go for her look, maybe because she's like, you know, the hot thing at the moment.
Now that would be an
She's
easy
pretty
look
hot.
to do because it's basically just like
Like beachy hair and like baggy clothes.
baggy clothes. It's perfect. No cinching, no tucking, nothing.
Nothing. I mean, someone like if I were the last time I did a show at the Rainbow Room, which is one of the newest LGBTQ bars that we have in Fort Myers Beach. We have a dinner that we do every Sunday, and it's drag queen servers and impersonators. So I've done Amy Winehouse, I did that. Tina Turner, Diana Ross. You know, I try to find characters that I can easily
Yeah.
make it believable.
Right.
I mean, I do Britney and Gaga because that's easy. You put a blonde wig, something weird, and then you're Gaga.
And
But-
everyone.
Well, I've got some ideas for you. We are down the rabbit hole. My name is CJ. My special guest tonight, Miss Berlin Baum, and of course, Miss Gigi von Parlo. And we're going to talk about the names that
Sure.
these queens have. We are going to take a break. We are broadcasting live from WLGE.net, and we'll be right back down the rabbit hole. Back. We are down the rabbit hole. Thank you so much for tuning in. WLJE.net. I got it right that time. WLJE.net. You can find it broadcasting live. My name is CJ. We're going to do this hopefully every week, and maybe it depends on how this Condoleezza Rice virus goes out.
Oh my God.
Right? We got
You are
Berlin
getting such a
Berlin
kick.
Baum with us, and of course,
it's a female
Miss
virus now.
Gigi von
Obviously.
Parlo. What is a female virus?
The Condoleezza Rice.
The Condoleezza Rice.
Right? Huh? Yeah, but she was pretty high up, wasn't she?
The Connie
yeah.
Francis.
What about the Linda Tripp virus? And who was Madeline Albright? Woo! Would you ever think about dressing up as Madeline Albright?
I'm gonna have to think about it now. Actually,
It probably wouldn't be that. I mean, she wasn't really a looker. You really go for chicks that are hot? I mean, Linda Tripp. I can't remember what she looked like.
I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily think you have to be like traditionally hot to be iconic.
You're right.
I mean, look at Barbara. Barbara's gorgeous, but she's not the girl where if you saw
But
her
she can
walking down the
sing.
street, you'd be like, "Oh my God, her."
wasn't she married to Elliot Gould? Imagine those two noses. Oh, anyway, you brought it up, not me.
No.
Babs. I call her Babs, right? But she's iconic. She can sing.
She is iconic, but
It's
I'm
like
saying
Sandra Bernhardt.
looks
right?
wise, it's not always just based on that.
let's talk about things. A lot of queens have the Von. What is with the Greta Von Sestrin? Another looker, right? Ugh.
Well, I mean, for my name, when I first started doing drag, one of the house queens came up to me and said, "Look, you have to, the name have to really mean something to you because you're gonna breathe life into this character. So make sure it's something that you like, that you can relate to."
And you're stuck with it, right?
Pretty much. That's pretty much. So my name is fashion related. I love.
Not like P. Diddy. I don't mean to change the subject, but Puffy, Sean, come on, bro.
Right.
Stick with something.
It's an evolution. As an artist, you get to evolve. The artist formerly known as Prince.
Prince.
The man didn't even have a name anymore.
Yes, he had a name.
No.
Don't even get
It
me
was a
started.
symbol.
He had an emoji. Like,
It was a symbol. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Okay, so Levon, can you tell us what the...
Okay, well, Gigi Hadid, I love her. She's gorgeous supermodel that I'm sure we all know about. Dita Von Teese, she's a burlesque well-known fetish performer. And Dtrh Parlo was an actor from like the 20s, I believe.
So you took 3 different people and then
Combined them.
them all like a big gumbo, sort of, kind
Pretty
of.
much.
Now,
So,
do you know any queens that started off as like Sarah and then of course changed it to Lucy? Anybody? I mean, or is that not real smart to do? I guess if you maybe moved from...
I think a lot of them are plays on words, like with like Sharon Needles.
Sharon Needles. I mean,
Sharon Needles?
Yes.
Oh my God, they're going to get the Condoleezza Rice brothers.
No, I mean, a lot of it is that. It is a lot of, what is it? Anita Margarita is a local one.
But I think it depends on
Or the cream of some young guy.
Cream of some young guy. Perfect.
That's a good one.
Just write that down.
But you know what? It depends
That's
on your
now we know
aesthetic.
your drag name. Congratulations.
You said, I'm sorry, what did you say?
It depends on your aesthetic because you have Tara Nicole.
Yeah.
She's a comedy.
Tara
queen.
New Hole.
Yes.
What?
She's a comedy queen.
She's amazing.
I love her. She's
Yes.
one of my sisters.
Tara New Hole.
Yeah, but
She's incredible. She was the winner of
such a
Drag
comedian.
Search.
This
Yeah.
actually sounds like the cast for the next Austin Powers movie.
You know what? Honestly, it's
I wonder if Mike Myers maybe, you know, kind of talk to queens.
I mean, we don't even have to go as far as like Austin Powers. Like, we can just go with like 007. Like, look at the kind of names that
Pussy
were in.
Galore, I hear you, but that's where he
You know. So I don't personally.
Goldfinger. Goldfinger means an entirely different thing where I'm from.
One of the main characters.
What's that?
One of the Bond girls, Pussy Galore.
Pussy
Right,
Galore.
Remember
Yeah.
her? She was gorgeous.
Exactly. So with names like that, it's like I'm really not surprised that when a queen gets to, you know, decide on her name, it tends to be something a little more extravagant. It's probably not going to be Jane Smith.
Yeah, too many Smiths already.
There's too many.
Yeah.
Now, is there?
My aesthetic is more fashion, so I'm like more towards.
So this is, I mean, a profession for you. This is serious business.
There's a lot of money in drag. I can tell you that.
Do you ever just like, I can't, so I don't do all this, but because I gotta go put cold cream on my face when I'm done. I gotta get all this. Because you were talking about preparing yourself. Now, when you're through, I mean, how long is it gonna take you to
peel everything off?
Do you keep those?
Absolutely not. It takes about maybe 3 minutes just to wipe everything off, and it takes about 2 hours to put it all on.
Now, do you have other performers that can just ready to go?
It depends on your makeup techniques.
Right.
A lot of the queens, they do their own makeup. Some other queens have someone else do their makeup. I do my own makeup.
So you have to have
A talent.
I talk about the dancers at the club. I mean, to get on, you have to have. I wouldn't say an ego, but you don't have to want to. You know, hey, look at me. You have to have, kind of have to have that.
I mean, yeah, you want the attention. You want
Right, exactly.
spotlight. You want people to look at you. You know what I mean? So in a way, to do drag, it's another way for the spotlight to be.
Is there a lot of animosity between, or do you see something? Oh man, she get ass tonight. Damn, you see what the girl looks like.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of that in drag, just like any other business. You know, you have maybe like a girl that can paint better than you, or you can paint better than them, or you look better. You find a couple of queens that don't really like you.
There's always going to be people that are catty. You know, even
Very
if you,
catty.
even if you look amazing, they're going to find something to criticize.
But then you got the old mama hen. Yeah, what do you think about it? Well, yeah, you come a long way, baby. Janet Slims.
No.
So yeah, there's a lot of that.
Now, if someone was maybe thinking on the fence, thinking about, man, I really want to do this. I mean, because you could be straight and do this, right?
Absolutely.
Hello,
Absolutely.
Wesley Snipes.
You know,
May not pay his taxes.
That's like the perfect example of
because he was a vampire too.
How drag is in our form.
We do
to
have,
Wong Fu.
we do have a caller calling in right now.
Oh.
we have a
Caller. Okay, caller. Hello. We are down the rabbit hole.
I'm on the rabbit hole.
Well, yeah. Come on down with us. Who is
Hey,
it?
how you doing? Hey, listen, my name's Roy. I'm calling from Cletus, Arkansas. I got a question for that Gigi.
Cletus, Arkansas.
Yes.
Hold on. Wait, real quick. How many teeth do you have?
Well, I got 4, and they're all fake.
Are they in your pocket right now?
No, they're not. I got them up here in my mouth. I got the 4 up top and none down below. I got to be able to get that steak out in that corn. You know how that goes. Got to shuck the corn.
Steak and corn.
What is happening?
I got a question for you though. For that Gigi, is it Gigi or Gigi?
Gigi.
Gigi, how you doing, Gigi? Listen,
I'm doing great.
I give you credit for what you do, coming out and doing what you do. And everyone gives us this perceived notion that we are just the worst of all worst down here. But listen, I give you full credit for what you do, but I got a big question for you.
Sure.
Is it bigger than a baby's arm?
He's a funny one, that dude right there.
Funny how? Like a clown?
My question is this, Gigi. That whole tuck thing you guys do, how the hell do you do that? That is got to be the hardest thing to do. What do you guys do?
Well, apparently it's not hard if you can tuck it.
Well,
I'm such an idiot.
people do ask that question a lot. And
No disrespect again. Like
Oh,
I
no,
said,
not
I'm a
at all.
straight country boy here. I got no disrespect for you.
Or are you thinking
Not at
about
all.
doing this? Because he's probably got duct tape right now. So.
I got family member. I got some kin, and I can never come around and ask them because you can't sit down at a family dinner and
I
just be
will
like,
honestly
hey,
say that.
how do you hide that? You know what I mean?
When I found out what performers go through in order to tuck, I was blown away and then proceeded to tell every straight man I know how it's done. And there is not a single one that didn't go home and at least try it.
I'm not going to try it.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
Honestly.
Are we doing Buffalo Bill kind of stuff?
No, I
know
mean,
what?
no. It's not that kind of tuck. Like where you're actually there's a cavity in your body where your testicles originally descend from. You put them back up in there.
Put it back up in there.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, they go back up in there, and then you tape everything
Well-
back with help of your penis.
Here's the thing.
Oh
if you're,
my goodness.
Well, here's the thing.
Listen,
If you're-
I praise you for trying to hide that. That's just the crazy thing to think about trying to do that. Congratulations on that, Gigi.
Well, here's the
Gigi,
thing.
I'm sorry.
if you're gonna do, say for example, Lady Gaga with the leotard, then you have to really tuck all the way. You don't necessarily have to do that because we usually do about 5 layers of stockings. So
5
do
layers of what?
stockings.
You're wearing 5
Oh my dear
layers.
Lord,
Yeah.
5 layers.
That's got to be
And then how do you move around?
Dude.
I mean, is it just you got restricted motion, so it's like how the hell you dance and do
Oh, we're
all that
used to
stuff?
it.
Actually,
We're
the
used
only
to it.
restrictive thing right now she's wearing is that skirt.
It's very tight.
It's very tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But back
Well,
to the
listen,
tucking, you honestly have about 1.5 inches gap, so it doesn't have to be that extreme. So it is comfortable.
Well, like I said, I mean, hey, I'll call in again. This is one hell of a show. I just picked you guys up on the thing here, so I appreciate that. I feel a lot better now going to a family outing. I thank you all very
What
much.
the hell is he doing at his family outing? Guess what I learned?
Trying to tuck it.
Down the rabbit hole, everyone.
How
Check this out.
to
Mommy! That is kind of...
That's amazing. No, but I guarantee you that any man that has not tried it will go home
Hold on.
tonight.
I'm not going to try it. All I know
You
is...
say you
it's-
won't, but I know you will.
I'm gonna man. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If
It's
you're a
not
guy,
that
you know
extreme.
this. If they itch, you can't scratch them because they move. You have to do like this to scratch them. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm gonna tap.
Tap. You should shove them up in a cavity.
Yeah. You put them back. There's a space for them, I assure you.
Well, I believe.
Well, I
you
mean
now.
the testicles. You know, there's just a little socket. Just put it back up.
Unless, of course,
It's
you
cold out.
you decided to put a rubber band around them, and then you're, So I wasn't even thinking about of all the stuff. I wasn't even thinking about that. But believe it or
It's not that bad. It's not that extreme.
Okay, well, whatever. Now, let's get back to current events. And you see someone or someone that's hot or like Billie Eilish I used. You use her or that person, and do you maybe have a go-to, like a fallback?
Yeah, I usually have a go-to. Again, someone like maybe Janet Jackson or
Now you sing. Now for people who've never been to a show, it's pantomime, lip sync, or do you vocally sing? I mean,
no, I don't sing. I lip sing, and but for each performance, you have to come up with a choreography. So you have to be a good dancer.
oh yeah, okay.
So usually prior to the show, throughout the week, if it's a big show, I'm doing choreography for whoever I'm gonna do, whether if it's Gaga or Britney or Tina Turner. That was one of the hardest to get her.
Tina Turner, by the way, was the second person on the Rolling Stone magazine. I just thought I'd throw that out. John Lennon was the first.
Yeah.
But the second person on Rolling Stone magazine, it wasn't even a magazine. It was like a newspaper.
Yeah.
Tina Turner, or
Tina
Anime
Turner.
Bullock, as I like to call her. So what is the
Anime.
So
Anime,
is there
not
one
Bush.
song by Tina? Simply the best, I guess, or Love, maybe.
I usually, if it's a mix, I go from What's Love Got to Do with It to her famous one,
Proud
That's
Mary.
the famous
Proud
one.
Mary. Thank you.
Proud Mary, where you don't have like Ike in the background with a boot ready to, right?
We don't know an Ike.
Well,
No.
no.
We
Tina
don't have
knows
an
Ike.
It's all about the love.
So that's one that everyone knows. And we talked about
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe, but Marilyn Monroe wasn't really a singer or a dancer, was she?
She did a lot of singing.
She was
No,
an
I mean, she
actor,
was
she
in
was a singer.
musicals.
No, she did the
know?
what was the
Fashion
one
icon,
with Jack Lemmon?
sex symbol.
Well, think about it. I mean, you had Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. You had,
Mm-hmm.
like Santa Baby. I mean, she was musical.
Okay, I
know.
can't name one song she sang.
No,
Mr.
but-
President. Other than that,
I mean, there is that because of that dress.
what was the one with
but-
her and Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis? The movie
Oh my gosh, Some Like It Hot.
Brain
Like It
Cramp.
Hot.
No, that wasn't it.
Wasn't
Was
that was the movie though, right?
Yeah, it was a movie, but that
That was-
wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Okay.
There was a kick-ass movie she was with. What's his name?
I don't know.
On the river, the mighty river.
You're having
It
your
was
own
a serious movie.
conversation.
I'll
now.
think about it. We're going to take a break. I'm going to get my senses back. Actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to do that thing where you push and shove. And
Yes.
y'all have any duct tape here, maybe, or a Velcro? We are down the rabbit hole. My name is CJ. We are joined in the studio tonight by Miss Berlin Baum and, of course, Miss Gigi von Parlo. WLJE.net. We are down the rabbit hole. My name is CJ. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we have got some very special guests here tonight, Miss Berlin Baum and Miss Gigi von Parlo. We were talking about stop, drop, and tuck and roll. And this is it. If you're a guy, you know this. If you're having problems putting the kids up, just get some cold water. And guess what happens? Shrinkage. Just saying.
Or he can
You
wear
didn't
it.
throw that in, did you? You went, oh, there's a cavity for the guys to put it. Guys go, look, all you gotta do is
Sorry.
get you some water that's cold, and all of a sudden I'm talking
There you go.
acorn. Acorn, right?
Does the work for you.
Or wear a gown.
Wear a gown. Wear a
There you go.
gown.
Gown, yeah, but
That's
like,
true.
like
You don't have to tuck.
That's another thing about that Frankenfurter gown I got. It's a green gown. Real quick before we wrap all this up, I knew I wanted that costume,
Okay.
and the city I worked at a radio station at the time. I went to the 3 or 4 major hospitals just to see if they, and first off, they don't use green anymore. No hospital, it's blue, and everything's disposable. So the gown that I have came off a webpage, but it wasn't a medical webpage, baby. No, something about a locker or something. I'm just going to say that real quick. We're talking about drag queens, and they used to be taboo, and drag queen, but it's a performance. It is a performing art. Can we say that? Maybe.
Absolutely.
What do you
It's
put, like, if
definitely
you're
an
gonna
art. It's an art. Yeah.
job occupation? You put performer,
Performer and artist or artist.
which is no
Drag
different
performer.
than Lady Gaga. I mean, would she puts.
It's if you think about it, we're doing the same sort of artistry and shows that they're doing, but it's more, it's not a global platform.
Yeah, you got some guys that really make. I mean, when RuPaul, he's getting old now. I saw him on Saturday Night Live the other night. He's getting old. When your icons are getting old, especially like Madonna, I'm like, man, look at her, she's getting so old. You've got some guys that can. I'm not gonna say hot chicks, but you've got some guys that are,
Pretty good female.
right. I mean, now these are the people who are really professional. They're gonna go out, like you said, Tina Turner, and they'll just go
Yeah.
out. Can people hire you for a birthday party?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much available to perform. Again, it's a business. It's become a business. And you have to know your aesthetics. Like, I'm not going to go out and do Britney or Madonna. Obviously, I'll just do something that's more relatable to my aesthetic as a
Depending
drag
on, if it's a
performer, so.
class reunion for 1978, maybe you pick
That's
up
the
the.
thing.
Right.
I think it used to be a lot
Donna
of
Summer.
just general.
Donna Summer.
Yeah, it used to be a lot of just general like female impersonation and like what their idea of a woman was. And now I think it's more popular to actually impersonate an artist. So it is more of a
Yeah.
Are
you
there
know.
drag kings?
I was just
Yes.
gonna say,
yeah.
yeah, we're not. It's actually one of the drag kings at the Punta Gorda Pride. She did one of the best Mad Hatter's performances, which you expect them to be a little more, butch, a little more male type of drag, but he very theatrical, to the teeth, choreography, costume, handmade, incredible.
Yeah.
Talking like Victor Victoria kind of.
Victor
I
Victoria.
was trying to think, like last night when I was prepping before I found out about the tuck rule. Oh, it's gonna eat at me, and I know I'm not gonna try it. Okay, I was trying to think. Okay, you have men who dress up like women, but women who dress up as men. Victor Victoria. I was thinking Julie Andrews.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that was
I mean, there
it.
are drag kings, but I don't think that in this area they're like as popular performance-wise. Usually, I mean, most of the drag kings I've met around here, they either go out of town because there's like a bigger outlet for them there, or they do it here like once, twice a year, if they even perform.
It's a
You know.
handful. There's a handful.
And is it?
Yeah.
It's mostly music. I mean, you will act out a scene from a movie, or maybe you will. Or
There are a lot of things where they'll stop the music halfway through and there'll be some
Like a
kind
comedy.
of comedy routine
Skit,
edited
yeah.
in. Yeah, something.
Now, does this go back to the burlesque way back in the day, or no?
It does.
I think you have a lot of burlesque
track is very
influences.
burlesque.
Are you
It is
into? Are
very
you into the
burlesque.
history?
Yes.
The history of the art, I guess you'd say.
Yes.
And because you guys were talking about how you got your name, I'm like, I've never even heard. You know.
Oh, Gigi.
Well, I have it, but that's no big deal. But hey, if we were to talk rock and roll, we can talk about some rock stars.
Well, she's like a hot Victoria's Secret model. I'm
Yeah,
sure
so
you
Now?
like you should. You
So
should
she's
know.
this big.
Yes,
She's
she's,
pretty
that
much.
one. She's that one
She's that
actually.
What is
that
her name?
one.
What is her
Gigi
name?
Hadid.
Is she American? Not with that name. Is that a real name? Hadid.
Hadid.
Yeah.
Hadid. That sounds like someone who may get the
She's
Condoleezza
sort of
Rice
like-
virus.
No.
Kendall Jenner type of.
Is
girl.
that Bruce before? What is his name now?
You mean Kaylin?
Kaylin, yeah. But Kendall's who? The kid? Or that's the
That's the
Amazon
daughter.
thing that you read.
Yeah.
Name their kid. That's crazy.
You know, isn't it
Kendall.
amazing? Like, I actually don't know a lot of people that have actually watched anything about the Kardashians, but everyone knows everything about them. And it's like, how do we know this?
Well,
Like,
they've
where
been
did
around
this
for
come
so
from?
long. It's like I remember she's like.
I remember her
about
dad.
You
that.
hear it in passing, and you're just like,
Well,
oh, I know
OJ.
that now.
Yeah.
OJ. I mean, would they be where they are if OJ wouldn't have, perhaps, maybe not killed two people?
I mean, I don't know. So I guess it's one of those things where, like, depending on what side of the platform you're on, it's either thank you,
Because
OJ,
their dad
or fuck you, OJ.
disposed of the clothes, right? The dad.
We're
disposed.
divided yet again.
Oh my god.
And then he had that
was good.
skunk thing. Remember? What was their
Yeah.
dad's name? The old man. What was his name? The dad.
The dad. Oh,
Oh,
Brain cramp. Huh?
sorry, no, Rob.
I'm sorry.
Robert Kardashian.
He's not the
Robert
important
Kardashian.
one anymore.
But that name
No,
sounds
it's all about
Kardashian.
him.
I think it sounds kind of like Corinthian leather. What is that you got? Oh, it's Kardashian leather. No, it's just her ass. It's so big.
Yeah. Oh, so can we plug our show while we're here?
Sure.
Okay. So we have another performance coming up at the Rainbow Room, which is at the Naughty Parrot,
For Myers Beach.
Fort Myers Beach.
The Naughty Parrot.
It is the Wonderlust Show, March 28th, which is a Saturday, and doors open at 9, and it's a fetish performance.
You know what does that mean?
and-
People going to be cat of nine tails? Yeah, I got some.
You know,
culture.
honestly, it's kind of an anything goes
a fetish
event.
could be
I
anything.
mean, well, there will be performances, you know, and it will be very fetish themed. But then afterwards, you know, there.
Okay, you mean fetish themed? Like, say somebody's breakdancing and I'm throwing like cookie dough at them.
I mean, if that's a thing, and
Right?
if it is consensual, then that's
I
fine.
mean, who wouldn't want to get cookie dough thrown at them?
I mean, I would be down for that. I'm not going to call it a fetish,
It depends
but
what kind of cookie dough it is, right?
no, you're right. It is. Yeah, it's.
Well, we have a lot
fetish
of
is very
fetish.
specific.
A lot of the fetish groups come in and they bring furniture and they do demonstrations.
Yes. Oh, last time there was
You mean
one
like
of those.
the Liberator furniture? and all
No. There
We
was
had a cross.
There was a giant cross that you can get tied to and get flogged. I mean, it was.
that? Flogged.
It was very interesting. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
a naughty nun bit and poured candle wax all over myself, and
That
you
was
know.
pretty high, by the way.
I just was really surprised nobody else had brought some candles with them. So.
Just
like I got
really
this.
the talk of the
Hurricane
night.
preparedness. I got
Yeah.
this.
Well, we have candles, but no toilet paper. I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. We came here for the wax.
I think we're
It's
gonna.
quite memorable, by the way.
Thank you.
Before we slide out of here, I forgot DJ Apex for the last couple of shows. He's been doing all the stuff behind the scenes, and actually, we haven't been watching him, but he may have been doing the tuck rule. He may have been doing. Is it a rule?
He's tucking right now.
Have you ever not you, but you ever just feel sorry for someone who's like, oh, you should be. Did you see? Look, did you see him? The kids are hanging out. Well, you should have tucked it. I can't believe you brought that up. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to be talking about it constantly, and I'm going to ask all the dudes at work. Did you ever do that tuck thing?
You're gonna do it.
You mean the king tut? No, not the king. I'm talking about the. Once again, pimp your stuff real quick.
Wanderlust show, March 28th.
And
Wanderlust.
The 28th, Naughty Parrot, Rainbow Room. From
Naughty
Myers
Parrot,
Beach.
Rainbow Room.
And we
Doors
also
open at
have Friday the 13th.
Which
There's
is coming up.
yeah.
Saturday. I mean, this Friday coming
Ooh,
up.
what are you going to do? Can you tell me real quick? Or is this a surprise?
I might do Freddy Krueger. I'm not sure yet.
Ooh,
that
hockey
Or
mask.
that
That's
girl
original
from
too, though.
the scary one from the TV, The Ring.
The Ring. Oh God.
What is that?
Will you crawl out of a giant TV? Because that would be the best. I'll get you a cardboard box.
Wait, the girl that was in the ring, wasn't she in King Kong? What's her name?
What?
She's Australian. The girl who's in the ring.
Oh, stop. You're getting sidetracked again.
You brought it up, the ring.
I did
Are you
not
talking
bring
about
up King
ring?
Kong.
You talking about a cock ring or just a Can I say that?
No, you're right. It was her, though. Yeah.
We are down the
Naomi
rabbit
Watts.
hole, and I told you, folks, that was the title we were going to use. I want to thank both of you ladies for coming tonight and enlightening us all about the tuck rule.
About the tuck.
And the Condoleezza Rice virus.
And the Condoleezza Rice.
Hopefully next week we won't have that. If you would like to check us out, make sure you surf on over to WLJE.net, and we're going to be back again next week. Down the rabbit hole. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming out and hanging out with me.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Would you come again?
Absolutely.
That's what she said. I'm sorry.
Again and
I was gonna
again
say,
and
I just think it just came right now. Okay.
Oh, there you go. See?
I'm done.
And on that note, we're through.
We're through.
Because I need a cigarette.
Get out.
We're going to wrap it all up. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Down the rabbit hole, CJ, Berlin Bomb, and Gigi von Parlo.
GVP.
Thank you.
GVP.
GVP. I like that.
Kind of like CVC. There it is again. Oh boy. How do you say it in German?
Tschüss.
In German, you say bye how?
Tschüss.
Hasta la
Chiz.
vista.
Chiz.
Tschüss.
Chuss. That's like, we could be making it up.
No, it's casual.
Tschüss?
Tschüss. It's casual.
Chuss.
Just
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, that reminds me of, oh, golly, Sound of Music. It does. DJ Apex, take us on out, brother. We're back. That's right. We are down the rabbit hole. We're still down here digging around. Berlin Bomb, Gigi von Parlo, and myself. And like I said, this is we've got to talk about music because music is my passion. Can I say that? It's my OCD.
I didn't
Not
know
all
this
of
was
it.
about you.
Not well. This is kind of, sort of.
I'm sorry. Did you
And look-
drive here?
I didn't drive here. I flew.
Okay.
It was on this day back in 1968, before my time, before your time, that a guy who had died actually on December 10th, 1967, at the age of 26 years old. He hit #1. He was the first artist to ever hit #1 posthumously. His name was Otis Redding. He died in a plane crash with the teenage members of his backing band. They were called the Borquets, and it was he had just bought this plane. He was about 4 hours away from where he needed to be, and his backing band before the Borquets was Booker T and the MGs. Actually, can you 4 people have hit #1 after they died? Can you name the other 3? Just guess. I'll give you a hint. It all happened before 1980.
All of them?
All this happened before 1980.
Oh, then no.
How about Janis Joplin did it?
I love her. Okay.
Bobby McGee, which was actually a song
Janis Joplin, yeah.
about a girl, because Chris Christopherson wrote it. Jim Croce did it, Time in a Bottle, a song that he wrote for his son. And Mr. John Winston Lennon did it back in 1980 with a song called Just Like Starting Over. So there you go, posthumously, which means
After death.
after death. How do you say that in German?
Oh, God. I don't know how you would say that in
I
German.
can say it
do
in
you say?
Spanish.
Yeah.
Say it in Spanish.
Can you?
Después de la muerte.
Oh, let me
that's
ask you this real
beautiful.
quick before we
Okay.
slide on out of here. You ever do a little Celia Cruz? Was she Spanish
Yeah.
or Cuban?
Yes.
I'd like to see that. Or Carmen Miranda?
Yes.
What was Carmen? Was that a real person?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was.
Yes, she
That
was.
would actually be amazing.
That'd be amazing, yeah.
I would love that.
I'd like to see that big cornucopia. What would you
Yeah.
put up there? You put like a what?
And also,
We should plan another
Josephine
burlesque
Baker.
show. Yes.
Josephine Baker.
You know what?
topless with the banana skirt.
I think that'd be fun. We should plan another burlesque theme show.
think so.
And actually base it on burlesque
Halle Berry played her,
performers
didn't she?
instead of just our own burlesque.
Hello, hello. Halle Berry played her, I believe, didn't she?
I don't.
Josephine.
I think she played Dorothy Dtrh.
Oh, maybe so, right? But they weren't Spanish, were they?
No.
But they were very iconic.
Very iconic.
I think they probably get lost. And see, this is me. Like when I'm online and I'm thinking about, oh, Dorothy Dtrh, what did she do? Oh, really? Oh, really? No shit. Because everyone talks about the girl who you look like, Betty Page, right?
Oh, Betty Page.
Who was beautiful.
Stop it.
There's
One
a
of my favorites.
kick-ass documentary on Betty Page.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, and it's crazy, but I have it on Blu-ray.
Well, you know, it's so funny because I got one of her old performance videos, and
Page?
I remember, and I'll let you borrow it because you're gonna love it. And it's so interesting what people would consider racy for back then. You know,
Risque.
because a lot of it, I mean, it is just literally her, and she's sitting there, she's doing like just this little finger thing, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
but she did some wild shit with like cheetahs.
I feel like I would make no
She
money.
took
just
pictures
doing
with
that.
like cheetahs and shit.
Yeah, she
I'm talking
did.
like Johnny Weissmuller cheetahs.
Yeah, but I mean, like her actual like live performances where she would go out and move around, and it wasn't just
She didn't sing, did she?
photographic. No, no.
And what was the whole? This was late 40s, early 50s. And what about J. Edgar Hoover? I mean, he was right. What?
That's a man who needs to show his ankles.
Wow.
or at least grab them, right? Yeah. But Betty Page was. I mean, she was gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And I think in the documentary, she talks, she speaks, but they don't show her because think about it. Like Elvis, somebody should have shot Elvis in the back of the head in 1958 because everybody remembers. I'm not saying he couldn't sing, but think about it. How would you like Elvis? You want to think of Elvis as Otis Redding, 26 years old when he died.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you think of.
But I mean, he did it
So did
right.
Janis
If you think
Joplin.
about it, I mean, we all have to think of Elvis as the guy who died on the toilet.
Did he? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He
You know,
sure
he-
did.
You know,
He had
he
a
died like a year
Literally
earlier in like a
died.
horrific car accident, like not only would it have been less traumatic for him, I feel like it would have been faster.
I don't know if he could even drive. What if Elvis could drive?
His driver could have done him the favor because now he's the king that died on the throne.
On the throne.
He had a recliner, like a lazy boy. He had a lazy boy inside his shower.
Oh,
And here's a real quick question, fact before we get out of here. You get me call on music. Elvis showed up at 7 a.m. in the morning at the White House, and at noon he was meeting the president. Now that's pretty damn. Right?
let me see these notes here
That's
because
wrong.
they're
Hey,
terrible.
They're right here, baby, right here. He showed up with a .45 caliber pistol. He wanted to give the president. They said, "Well, you can't walk into the White House."
Honestly,
With a weapon,
was this
right.
going to be your plan if we didn't show up? Because there is a lot of information here
On Otis
about-
Redding.
On Otis Redding.
I just gave you all the stuff that you
No,
need to
this
know.
is like his whole Wikipedia page.
No, it's not.
This is everything.
He wrote respect, by the way.
Wait,
He's
how
prepared.
much did he weigh? There it is.
Wait, he
No, I'm
wrote-
kidding.
Respect, the Aretha Franklin song. He wrote that. So
That's amazing.
So his wife and daughter are getting residuals off of it because that's where the money's at.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the publishing rights.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So are you happy with it? Read the rest of it. There's Jim
no,
Morrison's on there. What
I
happened
did.
to Jim Morrison
Well,
on
the
this
thing
day?
is, I got almost halfway through it, and then I got bored.
Okay, Jim Morrison moved to Paris on this day, right?
Yeah.
And then he died.
He
what?
books a room. The following
How old
week,
was
he
he when he
moves
died?
into an apartment.
27, I believe.
He's part of the club.
Part of the club. I was just
Yeah.
going to say.
The
Amy
following week,
Winehouse.
he moves into an apartment. Morrison lives in Paris until his death.
Did any
Janis
performer
Joplin.
at the age of 27 die at 27 not because of induced death? Right? Anyone? Kurt Cobain. Well, it was kind of induced,
It
right?
was-
It was a 12-gauge
was kind of
shotgun.
good, yeah.
That was self-induced.
Or maybe it was Courtney. Ooh,
It
don't
was
be touching
not.
that. Don't be
It
touching that.
wasn't.
Oh,
There's
she
just-
sold all the rights to his.
There's
we're
no
talking about
way.
publishing. She sold all the.
Think about how much more she could have gotten had he lived.
Where's
though.
she at now?
You know,
True.
What you mean more? Anyway, how more what?
He
more
could have written
money. More money.
I just heard this really interesting theory the other day that the reason Kurt Cobain did that is because he was at that point in his career where all artists start to have that conundrum of shit. Should I record a Christmas album?
What?
And he was just like, no,
She's crazy.
I can't.
Although Courtney did have a.
and ended it.
You know, they with a like rock band, you could get it where the Nirvana was singing Bon Jovi and Courtney had a shit hemorrhage going, oh, he would never sing Bon Jovi. I never got into Nirvana until about maybe 5-6 years ago. That's
I'm
crazy.
honestly
They were
still
cool.
not into Nirvana.
I
Still
watched
not.
it.
I can't do it.
I watched that documentary where it said that Courtney shot him, and
Well, the-
some
no,
of his
honestly,
music-
the
I didn't know he's left-handed until
The thing that
a year
bothers
ago.
me
That's the
about
one
it
I
is
didn't know
that
about.
when people think grunge now, they think Nirvana. And it's like Nirvana, first, they were progressive because no one else sounded like them, which essentially makes them not the poster child of grunge.
What is grunge? I mean,
No, for grunge, you've got to go Soundgarden, Pearl Jam.
I think-
They still had guitar solos.
Time out. I think Soundgarden's a rock band.
But I think it was like fashion.
They were grunge.
Oh, I mean, it was grunge.
They
It was a
came-
fashion thing.
It was fashion.
Not
It was
not musically, but like fashion wise.
it was fashion. It was that
It was the movie
that
singles?
area, that very specific area where all of it was coming from.
Yeah, I hear
It was the heroin. It was all of it.
It's like the heroin chic.
The heroin
you know,
chic.
The
Very
clothing,
important. Yeah,
the-
Kate Moss.
Kate Moss.
Yeah.
Kate, here we go again. Kate Moss, who is in
This
the Nine
one.
Inch Nails video. But grunge to me, to me, it's rock and roll. I mean, Bad Motorfinger, it's a rock and roll album. Pearl Jam 10, it's a rock and roll album.
I mean, it is, but it's a subgenre of rock and roll.
Grunge, I don't know what grunge is. I have no idea. DJ Apex, grunge. Can you name one grunge band? No, see? Nobody says that anymore. Mother Love Bone, loved them.
Grunge.
It's rock and roll.
They're grunge.
It's a Les Paul.
They're grunge.
And it's
Chloe Dancer, grunge.
Chloe Dancer. Listen to her digging that up.
Oh, she's coming
I'm
after
obscure,
you.
Yeah,
sir.
we will continue this conversation at a later time. Now we are going to climb out of our hole.
For real this time?
For real this time, and tell you that we will be back again, same bat time, same bat channel. So the 15 watching us now and the millions around the world, thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to thank you very lovely ladies for joining us and I guess keeping me occupied for the last hour. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, got that tuck thing. We'll be back next week at WLJE.net. We're down the rabbit hole. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the other side. Remember, don't sweat the petty things, just pet the sweaty things.